Welcome to Enlightenment with Julian, your gateway to a journey of self-discovery and empowerment. In each episode, Julian delves into the essence of wisdom and self-esteem, offering insights and messages to inspire your growth. Now, here's your host, Julian, to guide you on this transformative journey towards living your best life.
Hello there, folks. In this episode of Insightful Chats, I am here with a good friend of mine. Welcome to the podcast, Andrew.
Julian, it's a pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you here, man. How are you doing today?
Good. Can't complain. Woke up like an hour ago.
Really? No classes today, I guess?
Nothing going on today. Bored day. Was up all last night watching Sopranos, and then...
Ooh, all right. So why not tell us more about yourself? Like your hobbies, your grade, your major.
Okay, yeah. So, my name's Drew Grant. Go to Monmouth. I'm a freshman here. About to complete my first semester. We got a couple days left. I got 4 finals left next week. Then it's home for a month. But I totally forgot the question.
Basically, like your hobbies. What are your
hobbies? Sorry.
Yeah.
So, really into hiking. I just got into that recently. The new Call of Duty just came out. I've been playing that a lot. That's really fun. I like binge watching TV, like Sopranos. I've already seen it. Watching it again, it's that good. And what else do I like to do? I like Taco Bell a lot. I'd call that a hobby.
What actually got you into hiking? Like, what made you want to invest your time into that?
So, I went through something in September, and it was like a bad mental space for me. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like view hiking as like a place to escape, and like I like hiking by myself, just going on this like adventure that doesn't like some of the places you end up, they don't even look real. It doesn't look like reality, and you just go think, dude, you can't beat it. It's probably my favorite thing to do. I haven't been on a ton since I've been here because we're in Monmouth. There's not a lot of hikes around us, but I went on an awesome one over break 2 weeks ago.
That's nice.
Cascade Mountain up in upstate New York. That was like eye-opening experience. Like holy balls, like that was crazy. It was like 42,000 feet above elevation, and you got up there, and it was. Keep in mind, it was like it snowed that morning, so you were like in a blizzard, and like there was trees covered in snow as like far as the eye could see. It was awesome spectacle.
Like, did you feel like almost accomplished when you like finished climbing?
100%, because that hike took us like 2.5 hours to get up to the top.
Ow.
And it was freezing too, so you got up there, like you didn't want to keep going, but then you push yourself because you thought you were getting closer and closer. Mm-hmm. You started going uphill more, you're like, we got to be there eventually. And then once you got to the place and you saw the last final hill you to climb, you're like, this is it. Give it everything you got, you get to the top of the summit, and it's awesome. You're up there for like 10-15 minutes. Mm-hmm. That was the coldest spot, obviously, because the tallest place. Yeah. But it was just like taking it all and was just like, oh, this is awesome.
I think you kind of already answered this, but how has college been treating you?
I'm loving it. Loving it a lot. Yeah, I can't complain, really. Sometimes the weekends here, I find myself a little bored. But throughout the week with the classes, I get 2-3 classes a day. That keeps me busy enough. I got friends here, too, that obviously everyone does, so you go out and hang with them. Rushing a frat, too. So every few nights, I'm out having fun with some new people. So I stay busy here.
Well, that's awesome, man. It's always good to keep yourself preoccupied sometimes. Now, this section of the podcast is going into more about college, funny enough. My first question is, what's been the most rewarding experience for you in college so far?
True. I'd say after meeting all the new people here, and the new professors and stuff, I think it's such a different change from going into high school to college that it's like, it's crazy, because like now you're actually like experiencing like living on your own. You're relying on yourself, like literally it's you and no one else. I think like you have to get up by yourself, get the food by yourself. The food isn't that hard to get by yourself because you literally just walk to a dining hall and get whatever you want. Yeah. But you're more relying on yourself than you ever have been in your life, I think. So it's like the first time I've ever done laundry, and I hate it, but I do it. So I think it just makes you more self-reliant.
Yeah, like in a way, it creates that feeling of wanting to be independent.
Yeah, I think it gets you ready for life after college, like especially like when you're going to live by yourself and you got to like know these basic skills that maybe you didn't learn when you were in high school. So I think it teaches you a lot about yourself, and like, yeah, it's good for you.
Like, what are your classes like? Almost.
Like, what kind of class am I taking?
Yeah.
I'm taking a history class, which is like the history of important figures,
Mm-hmm.
and I have literally the best professor ever in that class. A guy like it's an 8:30 in the morning, so you're tired, you're like slugging yourself to class, and
Mm-hmm.
then you get there, and this guy's got so much energy, it just wakes you up. It's like, oh my god, it's perfect, dude. I love that guy, and he keeps class like fun and like energetic, so you're not falling asleep, and he makes what you're learning about interesting. So I love that class. Then I'm taking a math, which is it's a little different because it's a flip course. So instead of the teacher teaching you in class, you teach yourself out of class, and then you do all the work in class, which is different, but I like it a lot because if you ever struggle with something, you go back to the lessons and just relearn them. Taking a bio class, taking a business class, I'm taking a English class, and I'm taking a what's the last one? International relations class,
Nice.
which is very different because I've never taken anything like that class before. But I just finished the final yesterday. It was more interesting than I thought it'd be.
Now, for your history class, it actually gave me a question to ask. Do you prefer a teacher or a professor that's more energetic and lively, or do you prefer a teacher that's more serious, that kind of takes the class a little seriously? Because I know that some people prefer to have a serious professor, so that way they're more able to like really understand and pay attention in the class.
So I think my history teacher was like the best of both worlds because I do think he was the smartest professor I've had in college so far. But he also found a way to keep everyone like entertained and like you wanted to come back for the next class. I think it depends on what kind of class you're taking for the teacher. Because if
Hmm.
you're taking classes that like you need for a degree in your major, then like serious professor is definitely the way to go because then you're actually soaking everything in and you're like, okay, like it's time to take it serious. But like these general requirement classes that I'm taking right now,
Yeah.
I think a fun teacher is a good thing to have because it's nothing like the history class. I like it, but it's nothing I want to like pursue.
Yeah.
So he's keeping it fun and keeping me entertained. So I want to keep coming back and like maybe even consider taking another one of his classes. So I think it's supposed to both worlds.
All right. Well, that's nice. What role do friendships and social connections play in your college experience?
So I had it really really easy. I think because I've had 7 kids that went to my high school same year they graduated with me coming to Monmouth. So like the first day when everyone's like nervous, got the jitterbugs, and they're like trying to make friends, like I already had that. So like it wasn't that difficult for me to like it wasn't difficult for me to like find a group because I already had a group. But I think being with people I already knew made finding new friends easier because like once you're in a group and you meet another group, you just combine groups and then it's a lot easier.
Like with my case, for example, no one came to Monmouth. I was the only person
Yeah,
that went to Monmouth. Most of everyone that I knew either went to Rutgers or Middlesex.
makes sense. I mean, yeah, Monmouth. I don't know why. Like literally, I think one person went there from our school last year, and we're like an hour and a half away from the school, and I think it's gaining popularity, but it was just really weird. Like just out of nowhere, like 7 people, boom, at once, all committed. I was like, a
Yeah.
lot, dude. But I think it made it a little easier at first.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like college has helped you find your identity, or are you still searching?
Excuse me.
No, you're fine. We're all tired.
I just woke up now. I don't think it's helped me find an identity yet. I think it's going to eventually help me find an identity. By like the time I graduate, hopefully I find out who I am. But I think now is kind of like on the point where I'm still like exploring like who I am. So I think I got to look for the answer more like if I like, with it. Excuse me. With the coming semesters, I'll myself a little more and hopefully like actually find out who I am. And once I start taking stuff a lot more seriously, because I'm taking it seriously now. But like I could definitely be taken a lot more seriously. So once I start doing that and like actually get into the classes that involve my major, then I think I'll take it a lot more seriously and then try to be able to find myself.
And your major again is finance?
Finance, yes.
Really? What made you want to go for finance?
So I don't think anything. I think just the money. If I'm being honest. Like, yeah, I mean, you can say a bunch of different jobs, but like you got to get to the point where you start making money first.
Yeah.
So I always thought finance was a cool field, and then I was talking to my dad about it, and he does something similar. That kind of got me hooked a little bit. But until like I don't know, 7, 8 months ago, I wanted to do get a medical degree as a
Really?
PA, physician's assistant. But it was like, I always wanted to do this because I took anatomy in high school. I loved that class. Like, it was my favorite class. Like, especially because, like, it was information that you would literally use for the rest of your life. Like, that's the one thing, like, classes, they just don't, like, high school math and high school, like, English, like, they're helpful, but you really don't need them. Like, once you get a job and it's something totally different than those things, I don't know. But anatomy to me was like, I'll use that for the rest of my life, whether I'm in a medical field or not. Like, it's always useful to know the muscles and the bones and what parts of your body does. So I always like thought like this was awesome. And yeah, so I did that, and then eventually I got to the point where I was like, I don't really want to go to school, college for 8 years or 7 years, however long it is to get that doctor's degree. So I was like, I don't want to be in that much debt, dude. Like, it's not worth it. So I just went with my backup plan and started to do finance now.
If you decided to stick with it, with this whole wanting to be a physician assistant, right?
Yeah.
Like, what exactly would you do with that?
So you're basically like the doctor's mini me, I think. I'm pretty sure. Like, you take all the patients that the doctor doesn't need to see, or it's like the basic stuff, and you just like, you have all the power the doctor has, but you just don't have the title of doctor. And it's less schooling, and you still make a lot of money, but it's like, dude, most people just don't want to do it because you get swamped in student debt. Like, you're taking like 8, 9 years of classes, and it's just like, I don't want to start my life when I'm 26. Like, with a finance degree, I can start when I'm like right after college. Boom, 4 years, be 21, 22. I can start right there. But something with like medicine, dude, you're not starting until you're like 26, and then you have to become a resident, and then you're like spending a couple years there. So like, you might not be like if you're going for a doctor, you might not even be a doctor until you're like 29, 30. So like, all this time in between, like, you're just wasting your life, in my opinion. You do make a good living. It's just, to me, it's not worth all the time.
Yeah, like, if anything, you feel as if you could put more of that time into like something else.
Yeah, something you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Like, I've always wanted to go see the world after I
Yeah.
graduate. It doesn't need to be like Europe. Don't get me wrong, Europe, those countries would be awesome. But for me, like, just exploring like the West or something would be sick.
Really? Like, I remember, I think here they said something about like you can study in like a different state. Like, you could still be a student here in Monmouth. You could just study at like a different state. Like, I think they are talking about like having a job at like Disney World in Florida.
That would be awesome. If I could, for a semester?
I think so.
Dude, if I could work and be in Disney World for a semester, sign me up. Sign me up. I'm down.
But what makes you want to go travel out west? Like, I feel like
I think it's literally two different countries. Like, you could look at the U.S. as being two different countries. Like, you got the East Coast, which is basically like you got your
cities
and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it's not as much nature. But then you look at the west side of the U.S., and it's just like unbelievable. It's these nature scenes, dude, straight out of a movie. Yellowstone National Park, Zion National Park, Glacier National Park. Like, these like places are so real. Like, you go there and you can't even believe you're in the same country as you were. It's just, to me, the West is insane. I think everyone should go do it before they don't have time. And especially somewhere like Glacier Park, which is in the top of Montana, right by Canada. And it's just a bunch of glaciers. It's sick. And they said if you don't go within like the next 20 years, everything might be melted. So like, this is the time, if you want to do it, go now and do it. So I want to, within the next 4 years-ish, hopefully this summer, actually, I go and do it.
Is there a state out west that you really desire to go to?
So I had a friend do the same kind of trip. He did it for like a month. He just started in Jersey, same town I grew up in. He went all the way to Montana, Colorado, and then came down by like Utah, and then New Mexico, Arizona, and then back by us. And he loved it. He always talked about how Montana was the coolest state, and then states like Utah and Colorado were like close seconds. Like, it's such a different world out there, especially, I'm a big skier too. So like, the Colorado skiing is like, people dream of that stuff. So like, to me, that's an awesome, cool thing to do. So I want to do that. So I think I'd definitely go to visit Montana, Utah, Colorado.
Would you move out west?
Oh, and excuse me, Wyoming is one of my favorite. I want to go to Wyoming so bad too. Would I move out west?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. I think it's something cool to do. If you were to do it every couple of years and do a trip out there and do a couple of new national parks every time, that'd be awesome. But I don't think it's somewhere I could live. Like Montana, I could be totally wrong. I'm pretty sure Montana and New Jersey have like the exact same population. or very close. Jersey might have more people.
Yeah.
And Jersey is about 20 times, that might be stretched, smaller than Montana.
Yeah.
So, like, if I ever raised a family in Montana or grew, or like settled down in Montana, like, I wouldn't have neighbors or anything within like 15 miles of me. Like, you just be so isolated, dude, that like you just wouldn't like. Oh my God, the isolation would drive you insane.
Oh
You
yeah.
go to get groceries, a 30-mile. Yeah, dude, no way.
Oh yeah. A lot of my family, especially like my mom, would ask like, "Hey Julian, if you had a chance, would you move to like Georgia?" I'm like, I love the state of Georgia, but y'all need to fix the traffic.
Yes, dude. And I think everyone growing up in Jersey, like at first I was like, this Jersey's like, eh. But as you grow up, I'm like, Jersey's actually the best place to be raised. Because especially where I'm from, if you wanted to go skiing, 40 minutes away. Want to play golf, 20 minutes away. Go to the beach, hour away. Like, you are so close to everything that you're in the center of everything. So if you wanted to do anything, it's all within like an hour.
And yet so many people make fun of New Jersey.
Yes, dude, it's awesome. And we got the mob life over here. It's sweet. I'm just kidding.
Hang on, leave that to New York. Leave that to New York.
So we got that, and you're never gonna find a better breakfast sandwich in Jersey.
I feel like a lot of people might fight you on that, Andrew.
Bacon, egg, and cheese would not be beaten. North Jersey bacon, egg, and cheese. I'll live and die by it. It's the best breakfast ever. Friends and like that go to school in Maryland and like Utah, and they're like, the only thing I can think about when I'm not home is I need a breakfast sandwich. Like, they don't make them anywhere else like they do in Jersey. It's so different, dude. And also, I was in New York for pizza, upstate New York.
Yeah.
The pizza up there, awful. Like, not great. Compared to what we got in Jersey, dude, like, Jersey, I always fight again. Like, Jersey has the best pizza. Jersey has the best breakfast sandwiches. That's no debate for me. That's no debate.
I pray no New Yorkers are listening to this.
Come try our pizza and the breakfast sandwiches and be amazed. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. In terms of college and all that it was cracked up to be, do you feel like the money that you're investing into college is really worth what you're getting?
Nope, not at all. I think college is a really fun experience, and I think you should go to college. If you have an ambition to go to college, you should go do it. But like, I could have went to school for a lot cheaper at a different school that some people even think is better. But I chose here at the end of the day because I like the campus and the people more. But I think that I pay like, well, not exactly, but I pay like 15 grand-ish a month a semester. I think in the long run, that's not worth it at all. So even like now, like planning for my future, like I don't think I'm going to transfer from Monmouth, but I think I'm definitely going to try to graduate early, hopefully within 3 years or 3.5 years. Because even this semester, I took 6 courses, 18 credits. I'm going in with like 10 or 15-ish, I think, from high school. So if I wanted to, I think I could graduate. If I take 18 every semester, I think I could graduate at the end of my 6th semester.
Wow, oh man, that's pretty ambitious.
And save around like 30 grand. So I think that'd be worth it. It's just, that's going to be, especially like once I get to like my 3rd year, like that junior year, I think everything's going to like come crashing down. If I take 6 courses at a time, it's going to be a lot of work. Like, it wasn't that bad this semester, mostly like the general requirement classes, but I think that it could get a lot harder to take 6 courses. Junior year, sophomore year.
All right, yeah. Do you feel like college is preparing you for your future?
Yes and no. I think it will prepare me for my future a lot more once I start my major. But it's doing it a little bit right now, like teaching you independence and stuff like that. But like, I'm the same person I was like in high school, so I don't think so far. I don't think it's preparing me that much for anything that much.
All right. What do you feel like college should prepare you for at least?
I think college should prepare you just like for a job. I think you came to school to get a really hopefully in hopes of getting a really good job. So I think that once you finish 4 years or however long you're going to school for, that you should have a really good job lined up for you. And I think it's on you to go find that job. But you have all the requirements and skills you need to go and get that job and do good in that job and succeed in that job. But I think it also requires the person side of you to come out a little bit, especially if you're like in business or something. Like I don't think colleges can really teach you how to be a businessman. They can give you the skills to like, and the information to know how to do business. But I think that a businessman and talking to people is a skill you got to learn by yourself.
In a way.
Like persuading people and getting people to buy stuff, that's something that you just born with or not born with.
So in a way, it's basically like college should prepare you to learn how to like network with people.
Yes.
But you should also make a conceited effort to learn things.
Yes. I think it also like, if you can talk to people or not. Like a business major, like I feel like they have a good, like they can talk to people really well, persuade people, and they're either born with that or not. If you're not born with that, you're probably not going to do very good in the business field.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't talk to people, go find someone else. Go to work McDonald's, dude.
Yeah, you work at it or you just quit the game almost. Here we go. What are your goals for the future after college?
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine, man.
Yeah, I'm tired, dude. My goals. I definitely see the world. I think, said before, I want to go to the West, but I definitely do want to go to Europe eventually. Like, hopefully that's something I do at the couple years after I graduate. Within that time period, I'm also going to Canada in a month. We just talked about this outside when we were walking here. Going to Canada in a month, that should be awesome. That's going to be a really cool experience. Like, I think traveling is like my biggest one. But outside of that, within like a couple years after I graduate, find a wife, settle down, have 2-3 kids, and yeah, just live my life with them.
Would you like take the opportunity to study abroad?
Yes, but I think that, yes, I definitely would do it. I think it depends on the area. I have a friend who's going to, I think it's like Puerto Rico for a semester. I think that's cool, but I don't think I could stay on an island for a whole semester. I think that like a big area, like if you went to somewhere in Europe to study abroad,
Yeah.
that you could just travel all around there's so much stuff to do in Europe that you're seeing so many different things at once. I think in an island you're limited to just like what's there. And don't get me wrong, for the first week that's going to be awesome, like being like by the ocean, the beach and stuff. But I think that'll get not boring but repetitive after doing it for like however long you're studying abroad for.
Oh,
Because if you're doing that for over a month, to me that's like you're not switching up somewhere like Europe. All the countries are so like they're so like almost like in that ball they're connected almost.
Yeah.
That you could go see so many different things and spend like a week or two in every country and then travel to a new one, and it's just different every time and you're switching it up. And you get to see so much history in Europe too. That's so much cooler to me.
Like it's that sense of variety that's
Yes.
there in Europe.
I think an island would be really hard to keep busy on and keep yourself having fun for that long. But some people are different. I might like that a lot more.
What are some things you were afraid of before you got into college, and how did those fears shift during your first semester?
I was never like a fearful person. I don't think I have like fears. I think I feared like putting on a lot of weight in college. Everyone always talks about that freshman 15.
Yeah, freshman 15.
I've seen people get it here this semester. You know, I go to the gym. I don't go to the gym as much as I should. Once a week-ish, two times a week maybe. And I go run for however long, and I'll go lift a little bit. So I keep myself in shape to an extent. And I think, I was used to like a wrestling practice every day for like 4 years.
Yeah.
During that season. And I was just like naturally losing like a lot of weight and keep myself in good shape.
Yeah.
And then over like the summer, I'd put on like 15 pounds and then lose it all again wrestling season. I don't have that here. So like I did the wrestling season, I put on the weight during the summer. I put on a little weight here, and then I started getting a little dumpy. I realized in my gut, I was like, something's got to change. So I started to go to the gym a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing I was really fearful of, just like coming back to my hometown and just being a different person. It's looking so much different, but the semester's basically done. I look the same as I came here, so all good.
Well, that's good. You're all in one piece.
And also, not to answer your question before, not fearful, but my roommate was from Syracuse, so that's a lot different. Like I didn't know the guy before I moved here, but we have a good relationship now. But I think I wasn't fearful of that. It was just different because he could have been like someone I didn't get along with or something like that, but totally fine.
Like, it's that idea of the unknown, like, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, that's understandable. In college, do you or did you have that feeling of needing to fit in with societal norms and expectations?
No, not at all. Oh, are we done with the question or no?
I was going to ask, if so, do you feel like you fit in with these societal norms? But you already answer that for me.
I don't feel the need to ever fit in with anything. Like, if people don't want to be around you or be friends with you, I think whatever, that's fine. I got other friends here that I can hang out with and stuff like that. I don't think you should ever try to fit in. I think you should be yourself, and if people like follow you and come to you, then be friends with them. But you just never try to fit in with a certain group. I think you should just do what you want to do, and if people follow you, do that.
People have to be willing to accept you for you. And if they're not...
Don't change yourself to be like a part of people.
Yeah, no. Because if anything, you want people to see the authentic version.
Yes, and I don't think if you change who you are, you're not having as much fun. Like, I could put on a totally different act and to hang out with other people, but like, to me, it wouldn't be as fun. Like, I have people and friends around here that I could be myself around, and I have more fun doing that. I think that's a lot better.
Well, yeah, like at least with you, you can be yourself and you can just enjoy being yourself rather than just having to hide and pretend.
Yeah.
What has been the biggest academic or personal hurdle you have faced in college and how did you overcome it?
Personal hurdle, breaking up with my girlfriend, or not, she broke up with me during the 2 weeks into school-ish. So nothing against her. We dated for like a year and a half. But yeah, things just ended college life. I wasn't able to see her a lot down here, especially with like getting used to the college and stuff like that. She broke up with me on a random day, and yeah, I mean, at first, like it was just random to me, so I was like a little heartbroken at first. But then within like a month and a half, it was like a rough month and a half. Oh, after that, like you realize that like if they don't want to be with you, there's no point in like being with them. So like, do your own thing. And I had a lot of friends on here that like would talk with me, help me like get over stuff. So I think that helped a lot. And then especially when I went back home and saw my family for the breaks and stuff, that was good. But yeah, like that first month and a half ish was rough. And yeah, I mean that was definitely a big hurdle because there was like I think I changed who I was for like a month because I just like was upset all the time. I was just like isolate myself. But I think like being around friends and like family that helps to get over it. At this point now, completely over it. But I think like there's certain things. I think not everyone should experience a breakup in life, but I think it teaches you a lot about who you are because I think I fell into the same trap. My old girlfriend where I was just too comfortable to like I just felt too comfortable all the time where like I didn't feel like I needed to go out of my way to do certain things. And in reality, like she wanted that. But I did at the time I didn't realize it, but whatever. I think now like I've learned a lot about myself and what it takes to be in like a good healthy relationship. So like eventually when I'm ready for the next one, then when it comes to me, be 1,000 times better boyfriend than I was before.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you'd be more prepared.
Yeah, exactly. I know what I got to do now. I've been in one, experienced it, but now I know what I can do to like later down the line when things get like more comfortable and stuff like that. Like don't ever be comfortable. Like that's what my take on it.
Yeah, step out of your comfort zone once in a while.
Yeah, that's also like where started getting into hiking too. After the split, whatever. Like I was like I needed to go like be by myself and just like learn about myself. So I go on these hikes and stuff. Yeah, it was like I think really eye opening to go on these hikes, be by yourself, and you just go out and think about maybe what you could have done different, and maybe you got to think about, hey, I couldn't have changed this. Like it was going to end eventually. Better it ended now than later.
Yeah.
It's just things you got to think about. Hiking's a really good like spot to be, especially hiking with friends is a lot of fun, but I think going by yourself is a different experience. Like you just like it's just you taking in nature. Yeah, it's just a completely different experience.
Like in a way, hiking gives you that sense of clarity.
Yeah, and it's like I think it's really good if you not constantly surrounded with people. I think you gotta be by yourself sometimes. Just like think by yourself and like what's going on with your life. So I think something like a hike, and especially once you get to the top of the summit,
Yeah.
and you can just sit and look at a beautiful view and think, listen to a little music in the background. I think that's perfect.
Oh yeah.
Perfect state to be in.
If you decided not to go to college, what would you have done differently?
Join the army or something like that. I would definitely do that. I couldn't picture myself just like out of like straight out of high school just going to a job. Like I have friends who did it and they're working like these blue collar jobs and they like it, whatever, it's fine. Like to me that was never me. Yeah, I just like I always expected myself to like go do a college or I was always to me it was always college. Like I always thought I was gonna go high school, boom, right after high school go to college. But then like at the end of my senior year, my athletic director or my trainer, the athletic trainer, was talking about because this is the time I still wanted to be a physician assistant. So he was talking about how if you join the army or something like that, and you go and host to become a physician assistant, like you go serve time there, go do your 4 years or whatever, how long it is, and you learn how to become a physician assistant or whatever you want to do. You're not in the front lines. You're just helping people that get hurt or whatever. And at the end of that, like you're getting benefits. You're getting the fact that you're in the military and people respect that. And then they're also paying for you to go to college of your choice and learn more about the subject. And then you'd be a lot older than you would be, but you get the experience. You were in the military. You feel good at yourself that you served the country. And also, now you get free college. I think it's very beneficial.
Is there like a specific branch you would have served in?
I'm not entirely sure. Probably Army or Navy, one of those two. But I never dug into it that much to the point where I like researched it. It was just like it was a thought in my mind for a couple weeks or maybe like a month or two. And then eventually I was like, I've always pictured myself going to college. I'm going to do that. But yeah, I think college was the right choice for me.
All right. What is the biggest mistake you made in college that you can impart to someone who is going to college?
Work out and eat healthy. I think, like, literally, dude, like, you got to just keep yourself healthy. Because once you're healthy and you feel good,
Yeah.
like, that's when life is good. I think, like, you can have, like, cheat meals and stuff like that. And you, even if you don't want to eat, like, completely 100% healthy, you can have, like, I think if you're working out constantly and you're running and lifting and you're eating healthy, you can afford to have, like, a cheat meal day. Like, you don't need to have, like a Arnold Schwarzenegger build. You just need to feel good about yourself and feel happy.
Like, sorry.
You
Like pride in the fact that
yeah, you don't need to look like a bodybuilder.
Yeah,
but
no.
like you feel good, and you like, especially when you feel good, you work a lot harder. You'll be more happy with friends. You'll have a better time going out. Like everything just in your life just gets a lot better if you're healthy.
Yeah, basically like a better mindset.
Yeah, and you don't need to go to the gym every day. If you go to the gym like 3-4 times a week, and you're not eating like a crap ton of food, you'll be fine.
Because the thing is, like, a good physical health is also connected to a good mental health, almost.
Yeah, exactly.
When you look back on that mistake, what is something you would have done differently, or would you do anything differently at all?
I just would have gone to the gym more. Like there was like a stretch of like a month, maybe like a month and a half, where I just didn't go and just ate like crap. And then like stepped on a scale the first time, and I put on like 8 pounds. I was like, oh, this is heavy. And then like I did it the wrong way too. After I like realized like I'm heavy, I would go to the gym every day for like a couple weeks and just run, and then just like barely eat food. It's like a totally unhealthy way to do it, but I lost weight. It was like I'm used to that from wrestling too, just not eating a lot.
Yeah.
And just running and stuff like that. So like I didn't feel bad doing it, but like that's definitely not the way to do it. Like I could have been eating just like less portions, and it would have taken longer, but it would have felt better doing it.
Yeah. I remember when I was at like an unhealthy weight, almost like over 200 pounds. I felt very self-conscious, and I remember I wanted to go to the gym every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, over the summer, when I had to go to EOF for that, I went to the gym every day, almost every day for like 5 weeks. I lost a good amount of weight. I lost like
Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
And it's let me just
Go ahead.
for a second. Going to the gym is like a very hard thing to keep doing. Like to me, I could go for like a couple days. Like once you get to like that week-ish mark, or like even like the first 5 days, there's like the dedication to do it, and if there's no pushing you to go do it, it's a hard thing to do. Because like sitting in bed and just binging TV shows or playing video games is a lot more fun and easier to do than walking to the gym and putting yourself through hell for like an hour and a half. So I think like if you're able to go to the gym for a constant period of time, like good for you, dude. That's a very hard thing to achieve, I think.
Yeah. Now, we're actually going to get into the romance and your future section. So, yeah. The first question is, when it comes to love, what are your standards that you wish to see in an ideal partner?
Oh, you set standards. I think that like I think God has a plan, right? Like He'll make sure you find your person. It should come naturally to you. Like if you see someone who's like literally like they have a big smile and they've like a gorgeous presence, and you're like, wow, like this person like looks like they're shining. Like go up to them and talk to them, see how they are, meet their personality, and get to know them a little better, get their information, like maybe go on a date, something like that. But I don't think you should like look for like this perfect like Instagram model girlfriend and marry.
No.
Definitely not. I just think that you gotta like they gotta not. You shouldn't set standards. I think that's the end of the line. I think like if you like the person's personality and you could picture yourself living a long life with them and then making you happy, then that's the perfect person for you.
I mean, my only, like, I kind of agree, and I also kind of disagree. Because the thing is, I feel like in some aspects, it is a little important to set, like, some sort of standards, some sort of boundaries. Like, for example, with me, I want a woman that knows how to communicate effectively.
Yeah.
I want her to have a good personality, but I also feel like it's important to, like, have her know how to communicate effectively in a relationship, loyalty. And I'm not just saying this applies to just women. This applies to everybody.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think even like speaking of romance and like communication, my old relationship, I think that we struggled together with communication a lot, and we just weren't able to like vocally get things out in front of each other. Maybe it was different like when we texted about it because we weren't face to face. But I think there's definitely sometimes like what if we communicate in this moment, things would have gone better.
Yeah.
Maybe end up a different way. I'm not like reminiscent about it. I'm just saying like communication is definitely a big thing, and like some of you need like when I go to my next relationship, communications are the top of the list. Like that is something you need to focus on.
Yeah.
But I think like communication, like communication is a very good thing. They have to be like a good personality. You don't want to date like you don't want to date a dud. You don't want to date a dud. Someone who has no personality and just like a skunk.
A skunk.
Yeah.
A skunk. A skunk. What?
That like obviously they gotta look somewhat attractive. Like you don't want to date a pig.
Whoa there. Whoa there, Drewski.
But like you gotta not that they need to be standards, but just like I don't know how to describe it. Like yeah, I think that you gotta look for a couple things in a potential wife, but you don't need to find like this Instagram model, whatever.
Yeah, like in a way, it's her personality and her character that makes her more attractive rather than just her looks.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a plus if they have them.
Oh yeah,
but it's not a necessity.
Oh yeah, no. Would you be interested in marrying someone who is equally intelligent and has a career like you, like starting out their career, or someone who is more intelligent and more established than you, or that doesn't even matter to you?
I think they need to have some intelligence. I want them to have a good job to the point where we can have. Like, I know that if I had a good job in the future, that I could support a wife and kids, even if my wife didn't work. But I think to get comfortable and like have fun in life, like she might need to work too.
Yeah.
Like we get those the double incomes coming in, then we can afford to put more money away and save for a future, and like maybe afford more fun vacations or trips, or something like that. Give our kids more stuff like that. I think that if she had a job, that'd make her life a lot easier than just me working.
All right. Do you, as a young man, feel like your woman has to be equally successful to date you, or that doesn't matter?
That doesn't matter. She doesn't need to be successful. I think the fact that if she just works a job that's making good money, that's good enough for me. She doesn't need to be like. She doesn't. I don't know. She doesn't need to like be making $1 billion a year or have this massive like Instagram platform or like a TikTok platform. She doesn't need to be like that successful. Mm-hmm. But I think like if she makes a good living, then we have enough money to be happy with each other.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like, for example, like she has a high school education. She works at the supermarket.
When you put it like that, yeah. Well, I think definitely high school education, and I prefer a college education. I think it makes a person more put together. Like it makes them more sophisticated. Almost to the point if they went to college and like got a degree out of high school, I think high school degree definitely a requirement, but college degree it's like a 50-50. Like if they had it, that's a plus, but like they don't need to have it.
Yeah,
because like they could have totally gone to college and was like, this isn't for me. Like I'm not making any friends here. Like I'd rather be home doing something. And I obviously understand that, but I think, yeah. So like you can't really judge them if they didn't like college or something like that.
Yeah, because I was about to ask, like, or at least say I don't think, like you said, it's a plus to have a college degree. I don't think like a college degree should be necessary.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Because you can't just blame someone for not like. Especially if they just didn't like college, you can't blame them for not liking college. So there's definitely been times here where I'm like, I'd rather be home. But there's definitely also times like this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, like I feel like it kind of depends on like circumstances almost.
Definitely. Like sometimes even the weekends here are just like nothing going on.
Alright. Do you prefer a traditional style of marriage where she's a housewife and she raises the kids and everything? Or do you prefer a more modernized idea where you both are working and everything else?
Doesn't matter. I think it's whatever it is. Whatever like it develops into. I'm not going to set like requirements like what a marriage needs to be like. But I think like whatever it develops into, just live with that. Like it developed into that way for a reason. Maybe it's because you were happy and just things happened. Then just leave it as it is.
Yeah. What would be the ideal way for you to run your household? Would you be the sole provider? Would things be 50-50? Would your partner even take the lead? Because there are some relationships where the guy is like, hey, I don't mind being a stay-at-home dad or something like that, or a house husband. If you're working, how would your household be?
I think both people need to work. Like, I don't know. Both people need to work, obviously, and then like I don't think it needs to be run a certain way. Maybe like discipline. Like if your kids do something, like tell them they read a line. Like, I don't think you need to set requirements. Set a certain way your house needs to be run. Like, if you have good kids and a good and loyal wife, like, things should just run naturally. Like, if your kid's a little wild, then you're gonna be like, okay, like, get in line, dude. Like, figure yourself out. Like, what are you doing? Like, if everything's normal and your wife's happy and whatever, she's loyal, then everything should be perfect, I think. I don't think there needs to be requirements. Like, there was never, like, requirements in my house. To the point of, like, I don't know.
All right. Will there be any deeper entities that will play a role in your household, like religion and cultural values?
I wouldn't. Religion, yes. I want to get into like religion a lot more because there's a church literally like 2 minutes away from where I live, so it would have been a really easy thing for me to go like every Sunday morning. I never did it, but like maybe like after the semester is over, coming week, or even after the spring semester, I'll start going every Sunday. I think the fun thing to do would be like go to Sunday mass in the morning, get a breakfast, go on a hike. And if you squeeze that in all before football starts at 1 o'clock, it's a perfect day. It's a perfect Sunday to me.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
You know, there's like a Catholic club here, and Monmouth, right?
Didn't know that. I don't think I'd go that far just yet, only because I'm not like completely indulged in it, the religious aspect. But I think if I got into it more, then I think I'd join it. I don't think I could jump in that fast to something like, because those people in that club, I'm guessing, are really devoted to the religion.
That I don't know. I'm not Catholic.
Right.
I just heard of it.
Yeah, I'm just saying they probably are really devoted to religion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I think I'd be like almost out of line or out of my place if I joined not knowing anything about it. I think be disrespectful. I think I'd have to like gain a sense of religion first, and then go there and like know. Like I think I got to know a little bit about it before I go and just totally just intrude on these people. But I think they obviously accept me if I do anything about it.
Oh yeah, like with me, because I've been to a couple of Christian clubs here on campus. It's just that with me, like I just recently got closer to God this year. Because before I was agnostic, then I'm like, you know what, I want to better myself. And I'm not saying religion is the number one answer. It's not. For some people, at least. But yeah, I've tried that, and I went to different clubs. They're mostly accepting, and they're understanding of the fact that, like, hey, you're new, you're getting closer to God.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just my experience. Do you think shared ambitions are needed for a successful relationship, or can opposites complement each other?
I don't think so. I don't think like you should look for a person that has the same goals as you.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a lot cooler actually if you had your own goals and someone had their own personal goals too. Then you work together to complete each other's goals and like see each other's goals through. Like if my wife had this certain goal to, I don't know, let's say she wanted to go travel, she wanted to see like New Zealand, let's just whatever, random country, something like that, completely random country. I think goals obviously can be a lot bigger than just traveling. But if that was her goal, let's say, and my goal was like to, what's an example of a goal?
I guess, try to get, I don't know, promotion before the end of the year.
Boom, you can tie those both together. I get my promotion before the end of the year. I use that promotion money
to go to New Zealand.
Exactly. I think it'd be a lot cooler. It'd be a lot cooler if you worked and put your goals together and like completed both your goals. I think that's a lot cooler, man.
Yeah, like it's that sense and that feeling of cooperation almost.
Yeah, there's more to do if you have separate goals, and if it's just one communal goal, it'd feel a lot better. Definitely, if you did it both together, the one thing, but it'd be different experience if you did like each other's goals.
Yeah, like in a way you're able to support one another.
Exactly.
All right. Do you think societal pressure influences when and how people approach dating, marriage, and starting a family?
Pressure? No, I don't think. Dude, I think it's literally in this world, it's just you against you. You versus yourself, man. I don't think you should ever fall into any norms or do something because maybe that's like what people are supposed to do. And people have been taught that for a lot of years. Like, whatever makes you happy, go ahead and do. Yeah, I don't think it's really matter, dude. Just whatever you want to do with your life, go do it.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have anyone like, even if your parents tell you don't do this, whatever. I think just go do what you want to do, dude. Because even like this year, like going home, and like my mom's like, go do this, blah blah blah. I'm like, I really don't want to. Like, I'm gonna do it. And it's things not like things like she's asked me to do as a favor. She's like, go do this if you're bored. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't know. It should just be like up to you. You shouldn't have people telling you what to do. It's your life, and like especially with me, I'm 18 now. I'm basically an adult. Like, I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Yeah, like as long as you're not like harming anyone or forcing anything. Like
Yeah, if you're all good, like what's the word? Good whatever, good intention like that.
yeah.
Like everything you do is gonna be, obviously it's gonna be coming from a good place, but it's gonna be what you want to do, and it's gonna make your life more enjoyable. Like we're only on the earth for so many years. Like go out and use them, and like let's say you live to 80 years old or something like that, which isn't that old, but let's say you live to 80. Like from 70 to 80, you're gonna be probably like, I don't know, in a wheelchair or something. Like not be able to do as much as you can. I think you have like a certain amount of years. I think that, let's say, from like 20 to 30 after you graduate, I think that's like a really good time to go do the things you want to do. And then eventually, like, obviously, you're gonna start a job and stuff like this. But I think you gotta like put some time aside in your life to go do the things you want to do. Because if you had these goals of doing, let's say, taking a big trip to like Russia or whatever, I'm just a random country.
Okay, because I thought you was gonna say New Zealand
Again,
again.
yeah. But like, let's say you as your goal, and like you're working so long to reach this goal, and then you just realize you spent 40 years of your life just working to get this goal, and you look at all the time, you're like, I spent like more than half my life just doing something I wasn't happy about doing, just to get somewhere. So I think you should definitely take time to do the things you want to do before, like, I don't know, before things happen and it's out of control. And like, especially with a job, you gotta find something you like doing.
Do you envision maintaining love and connection? Like, sorry, how do you envision maintaining love and connection in the long term?
Maintaining love?
Yeah, like how do you envision maintaining that relationship?
I think that definitely sometimes you gotta spice it up. Like you definitely gotta take your wife or husband, if you're a girl, take her on like a nice vacation or take her on a nice hike, take her to the movies once in a while, or a drive-in theater, let's say. There's just little things you can do that, especially like if you like being around this person a lot and they know it, plan every like once a week, like every Sunday or every Saturday. Let's go do a new thing. Let's go drive 2 hours away to do an awesome hike. Or let's go drive 3 hours away to see this movie we've never seen before. Like if you keep it original and keep it new and keep it like it's almost your first date, it makes it a lot more fun, I think. I think if you treat each other like you're a married couple, then you're just gonna like not be as connected with the person, but it's definitely gonna be like I'm around this person so much where like they're a part of me, so I feel like I don't need to put myself out there. But if you treat every date like a first date, then like you create the sense of like more happiness and everything's a lot nicer and smoother. So, yeah.
Like basically, almost kind of spoiling her or them.
Not spoil. I don't think you need to spoil anyone.
Yeah.
I don't think they should like you because you have like a lot of money or like you buy the fancy jewelry. Like that should not matter at all.
Yeah.
So I can buy fake jewelry that looks the exact same for $1 million less. But I'm just saying, no, keep it fun. Like take her on a new date. Like if it's your wife and you've been dating for a while, like let's say you make a date night every week and go do something new. It's just like a new experience for them. And don't treat them like they're a friend. Treat them like it's part of you. Like treat them how you like. I don't know. You want to be treated. Treat them like make them have a good time. Treat them to a good time. Make them laugh. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, like
treat
them with like the love and care that they should have.
I think some relationships get a little foiled when you treat the person like a wife, because I think then it's like you've been with the person so long where you just feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Where like I feel like I'm spinning where you feel comfortable enough and you don't like go out of your way to do things that might make their day. And once you do that, maybe they're like, does this person really care about me? And obviously you do, but it's just like you didn't think you needed to show it because you've shown it for however many years.
Yeah.
So go out of your way to do something nice.
What are some qualities in a partner that are non-negotiable for you, and why?
That are non-negotiable, like I need?
Like, no. I mean, when I say non-negotiable, I mean, like, what is, like, a red flag, a deal breaker for you?
Armpit hair? I don't know. I don't have a lot, dude. Like, there's not a lot for me. I don't think I can just, like, name red flags for myself. I think if I saw them on a girl and noticed them right away, I'd be like, oh, that's a red flag.
Like, run.
Yes, exactly. Like, you could notice stuff, especially when you talk to a person. Let's say they just look at you, or they just random, like, they look at you and they don't blink at all. You're like, oh, maybe that's not my wife. But then, like, they could go to stretch. They have just jungle hair underneath their pits. And they got, there's some things that, or like maybe they got like the Amazon living under their hair, dude. There's some things, even like personality too. Like, you could realize something like, maybe this person doesn't really care about who you are. And you're like, oh. You like that one? Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to it's not all physical red flags. Like, definitely, like, it's all his personality.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, you could realize, like, ooh, like, they care a lot about themselves. They're really self-centered. You're like, this is not a person I'm gonna marry at all.
Right.
Like, there's some things you notice as you speak with a person and get to know them. But other things like you could, I don't know.
All right. Moving on from jungle fits. In your current point of view, would you be idealistic? Would it be idealistic for you to get married and start a family early in life, like in your mid-20s, or settle in your career first and wait to have a spouse, children in like your mid-30s?
I mean, definitely early. I can't speak because I'm not older yet, or I'm not in my 20s yet, but so I don't know like what I'd think then. But as of right now, I'm like, I want to start it in 20s, dude. Like, I think it'd be a lot. I think I'd care a lot more about a kid when I was younger than I was. Actually, I don't think it'd matter. I don't know. Think about it really now. But I think I'd rather be in my 20s. Really? I think you love the kid the same amount regardless of that you were like 20s or like 30s. But I think it'd be a cool idea if like you were in your 20s and you had a couple kids and then you had a wife early on and you could be with that wife for like 7 years or something like that. I don't know. I think that's cool.
Like, would you feel like it would be a little bit harder for you to like establish your career?
So I don't think you should look well, especially like because I don't really want to date again before I'm in like a couple years, maybe like a year after college, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like I'll have a job by the time I'm starting to date this person, and then we're not gonna get married for a couple of years. So I'll be able to like set a good foundation of like set away like money and stuff like that, and like be able to provide before I even think about having kids.
All right.
So like I'm not gonna be like totally unprepared like coming out of college with a wife and just getting kids, just having kids right away and not having a job. I don't think that's definitely not the way to do it. Mm-hmm. But I think like eventually when I start dating, I'll have a job again, and then eventually my kids will be like financially secured.
All right. Now this section is going to talk about the idea of mentality. What do you define as a healthy mindset?
Healthy mindset, it's literally up to your own depiction. Like it should just be like however you feel the most happy. That's how it should be. Like if someone feels a lot more happy like by themselves and doing things like being a totally individualistic person.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Then that's their happy. Like let them do that. Because obviously they enjoy it a lot more than being around people. But if a person wants to be comforted by like a wife or a husband or whatever, then like obviously they're probably a lot more happy doing that.
All right. Do you think there's such thing as being too vulnerable?
Yeah, I don't think like would you like just like when you're talking and stuff like that, or like
Perhaps like
because this is how I looked at this question. So I think there's you can be vulnerable around like friends and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, around friends. You can be vulnerable around your friends to a certain degree where it doesn't get weird. I don't think you should like dump all your trauma onto your friend, stuff like that. Like this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Like
you shouldn't like trauma dump on your friend like everything about your life and everything that you're thinking. Because like at some point, if someone did it to me, like, dude, I'm here for you to a certain point. Like once you start dumping like constantly stuff on myself, like I've been in situations that aren't good and like aren't good for mental state, and like you got to work to get over from yourself. Like at the end of the day, anything I say is not gonna help you. The only thing that's gonna really help you is just yourself.
Like in a way, you want to establish a sense of boundaries.
Yeah, you should be vulnerable enough, but not too vulnerable. Like if you just dumping everything about your life onto someone who really doesn't care, it's just like, why are you doing that? Like go to a therapist.
Yeah,
that's their job. They're trained to talk to people and make them feel better. But like, I don't know. I think it also could change perspective on if one of your friends is dumping everything about their life on you and everything they're thinking, it could definitely change that person's point of view on that. So at the end of the day, it's like go to a person you want to dump, like go to a therapist if you really want to trauma dump or be vulnerable, but also keep in mind that like it's got to come by yourself. Like you got to figure out the issues and you got to resolve by yourself. At the end of the day, like let's say it's a breakup, like none of your friends or therapist is gonna at the end of the day put you back in this relationship or like make you feel better. Like it's all on you, dude. Like, you get good advice, but it's whether or not you choose to use the advice.
Yes. Because so many people would come to me for advice, especially when it comes to relationships. Mind you, I've been single for the longest of time. And it's like, hey, here's my piece of advice for you. Take it or leave it.
Exactly.
And
there's nothing more you can do.
Exactly.
So it's up to them, really, what their decision is.
Do you think society... okay.
And also, the advice might not work for the person either. Like, it could be advice that you've learned through personal experience. They're like, okay, try this. This worked for me. And it could totally just not work for that person. But it's if they want to try it could work for them.
Mhm.
But it's at the end of the day, it's you. Like, find out what works, find out what doesn't work, and you can use like past experiences to better new.
Because not everything, when it comes to advice, works for every single person. Do you think society places too much emphasis on positive thinking?
Break that down for me, because I'm a little lost.
Like, do you think, like, you know how we always talk, like, how society is like, hey, you gotta be positive, you gotta be happy, you gotta be uplifting almost. Like, do you think society focuses too much on that instead of being realistic and saying, like, hey, it's okay to be positive, but we also have to take time and focus on, being realistic, saying, like, it's okay to be sad.
Yeah, I don't think every part of life should be like this fantasy story where everything just is good. Because obviously there's some parts of life that are bad.
Yeah.
So, and people like, you're living under a shell if you think everything about life is positive. Because there's some bad parts. You got war. Like, imagine like we're living like the 70s or 60s. We're like in Vietnam right now. Like, there's definitely some bad parts in life like that people have to go through. And like, not everyone's life is going to be 100% perfect and nothing wrong ever. But I don't think but society definitely like try to shine like a positive light because people want to be in a positive light.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, they try to ignore the negative stuff, which like, okay, do it because it's negative for a reason. But at the end of the day, like, you can't, some of the stuff you can't avoid.
Yeah, like.
So I think society, like, I think almost like they should show life in a positive way, but not kill reality. Like, obviously, negative stuff's going to happen and it's out of their control. It's out of everyone's control. It's just life. People should like try to soak in the positive stuff because that's good, like better for your mental health, especially.
Oh yeah,
but people shouldn't think that negative stuff is never gonna happen to you because it could come out of anywhere, come out of left ball field, especially when you least expect it. Boom, you hit with negative news, you're like, oh, this is a killer, or like, oh, my life is just. There's definitely some stuff that's out of control. You shouldn't always go into life thinking like everything can be positive because it's not.
Yeah, because like as much as I try to promote positivity here on the podcast, I also try to be more open and honest and
realistic.
Yeah,
because it's like sometimes negative stuff's gonna happen.
Yeah, because I feel like we shouldn't like try to sugarcoat everything.
Exactly, that's what I was looking. Yes, like obviously people need to realize that life is not all good.
Yeah,
it's great because we're here, we're living. Only so many people are living right now. Like not everything about it's gonna be perfect. Like it's awesome that we're here, but it's gonna be hopefully it's more positive than it's negative. But at the same time, sometimes the negative outweighs the positive.
Sometimes.
If like there can be good positive things in your life, and then like some big negative thing could come and just ruin everything that's just happened. Right. So it's just depends what happens. It just depends what happens.
Yeah, and it's depending on like how you make of it almost.
Yeah.
What do you define as masculinity?
Masculinity. I think. It's just a word not made up, but like I think it's just a word made up given to men. Like
Really?
What would you define masculinity as?
Well, I feel like when it comes to masculinity, I feel like that's almost being mature. I don't like this idea, which is actually my next question. Do you believe there's a thing called toxic masculinity? But yeah, I don't believe it toxic. I do believe that there is toxic masculinity, and I don't support it. I don't support it. I don't like it because, like, with toxic masculinity, it's like, are you really a man if you cry, if you feel emotions? Like, and it's not healthy. With masculinity, it's like saying, like, yes, I'm a man because I can process my emotions. I can be responsible. I can be all these things. Like, that's how I personally view masculinity. Just being responsible, being able to be effective in communicating. I feel like that is like, or at least those are like ideals you should see or you will want to see in yourself as a man.
I agree with that, actually. I like that a lot. I mean, I didn't really have an answer before you just talked, but I like that.
Yeah.
Like being responsible. I think like, I feel like when people say masculinity, they get mixed up in like big, strong, father figure, like whatever.
That's what I was going to say.
I feel like that word just like gives off that kind of energy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I don't think it's exactly that. I think men should be more than just like this massive, I have muscles, blah, 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 I'm a big man. There should be a lot more than that. Like, I think they should be able to show their emotions without being like,
Afraid.
yeah, without being afraid. And people should focus on mental health. So sometimes I do think like some men have worse mental health than some women because I think a lot of the times women like if they have a problem, they're dealing with it right away. Like they're talking to their friends or someone in their family who can help them deal with it. And I think a lot of men just like hold everything deep down because they're afraid to go to people and talk about them. And then eventually it just like gets too overwhelming for them and then just stuff happens.
Yeah.
I think we live in like a society where it's a lot more normal and people like expect women to talk about their feelings and get over. It's a lot more normal for women to go talk and like not that they're almost expected to do it, but people know that like they're gonna go do it. And I think with men, it's like they hold everything down.
Like
Do yourself a favor and go check on a friend that's maybe not acting normal right now. Like there's sometimes people that you'll never even notice that they're having a bad day, or there's something in their life that's like killing them deep down because they're just holding it down that much. And they put on like this mask when they're around friends or something like that.
yeah.
You should definitely go check on people.
Like
It could save their life.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And the thing is, the problem with this whole you got to be a macho man, all right? You can't cry, none of that. Like the problem is that is toxic masculinity. That's the thing. We are encouraging men this stigma. This is a stigma where we encourage men not to cry. We encourage men not to express themselves. Like even to be like to act like a douche, pretty much. To be like rude, to be pompous, to be like because they see it as like that's a manly thing to do when in reality it's not.
And like I've done it through most of my life.
Yeah.
Where like I don't really see that a lot of time in men where they're just like putting on this like cloak almost where they got to be this like big macho man like you said.
Yeah.
But I think it's like I don't know, I didn't see a lot of that, so it was like that wasn't like the normal thing for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, and also what was I gonna say? Totally forget.
But yeah, man, I don't like this whole idea of toxic masculinity. It's really it does a number on a man's mental health and it just promotes a stigma.
Yeah, so I was watching UFC a couple months ago. Favorite sport to watch ever. Awesome. There's no other sport where you can just sit down and just watch two men beat the living balls off each other. Like actually just literally just kill each other. That's like their jobs. They go kill each other.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to watch. But one of these fighters, fighter named Paddy Pimblett. He is a English fighter, thick English accent, blonde bowl cut, whatever. But he's after one of his wins, he talked about like one of my friends just died recently because the dude was too afraid to talk about people. And like this society creates these norms where people think like, especially men, like they can't talk. Like you can go talk, you can find therapists, and even like your closest guy friends, like go up to them and talk to them because like they will, if it's that serious, they will deal with it. They will deal with it, and you could save someone's life.
Yeah. Yeah, it just takes like one conversation to change somebody's life.
Exactly. But it's also on the person who's not willing to put themselves out there.
Yes.
Because if you're not going to put yourself out there, dude, then it's kind of on you.
You kind of already answered this, but do you believe society has a double standard for toxic behaviors in men versus women?
Yeah, there's definitely like two sides of it. I think there's definitely women have a standard and men definitely have their own standard. Like it's definitely very far from each other. And I think that like like a guy's mental health needs to be taken more seriously because I think, dude, there's some people even I know that like are going through things and they're just too scared to talk about it. And there's women I know, or not that I know, but like there's just women in general like they'll talk about anything. Like the second the problem comes up, they'll talk about it, and like over a couple days, they'll eventually be over it. But I think women are definitely more emotional too. Sometimes you can tell.
Yeah, I can understand. In college, is it difficult for you to prioritize over or balance with your mental health, and why?
I think my mental health has been great in college, to be honest. It wasn't such a big change for me where I was like struggling, but like I came with friends and stuff like that. So every time I was in a bad state or didn't want to, or was just bored, I would just go over there and it would be like I was back home. So it wasn't that bad at all.
Well, that's good. I'm really happy to hear that, Andrew. What do you think contributes to the development of toxic traits in people?
How they're raised and what they're like taught to know. I think it's definitely like bad people can be born, but I think there's also sometimes good people that are born and like from what their parents are telling them or like what they're being taught, then they like change the person because I think that's the normal and stuff like that. So I think. Can you say the question again? Because I just blanked.
Okay, it's fine. We're both tired.
Yeah.
What do you think contributes to the development of toxic traits in people?
Contributes. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's just how they're raised, basically.
Oh yeah. Do you think it's possible to have those traits be unlearned?
Unlearned?
Like untaught to them?
Yeah, definitely. I think like if one of my friends was like a douche and was just like bullying people and doing this stuff and like because they thought it was normal they were raised like this, I would like have a conversation with them, be like cut the shit. Like, we know what you are. You're not this kind of guy who needs to go out and prove himself and be this big masculine whatever. So like you gotta I think if you're close enough with a person or you have enough like say, you can like put a person in their place. Like, dude, this isn't you. This is doing nobody a favor, not even yourself a favor, because it's showing you in a negative light to everyone else. So it's not doing anyone a favor, really.
Yeah, if anything, it's hurting you rather than hurting everyone else almost.
Mm-hmm.
When you're having negative thoughts or self-talk, how do you combat that?
It's not much you can do. Like, I experienced it, started college, whatever. And like sometimes like it's just you try to do things, and it's just like in the back of your mind, like it's like bad thoughts. Like you said, bad talk, and like even like when you're trying to do homework, you're doing it, whatever, and it's like, boom, you hit one little thought or something reminds you of something, and you're like, oh, God, and then it's just they keep constantly coming. I don't think there's much you can actually do to like avoid this negative talk. You just gotta like have a good willpower to just get over it and let it fade away, and like you gotta try to think of different things too. I think the most important thing is like being around things that make you happy, to get your mind off it, whether it's like some good food, good company, something like that.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I kind of, like, before you mentioned that, I was about to say I disagree with you. Because I feel like there are ways for you to combat negative thoughts, negative feelings.
I mean, the thing is, like, I had them, start of the semester, I had them really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I was just in class, and I was like, there's nothing I can do. There's, like, I literally can't stop thinking about whatever I'm thinking about. And it's just, like, killing me. I'm like, I don't know what to do. But eventually, like, you find ways to get over it. And, like, I think friends is the best one. Or just good company in general. You just talk to people and like have a good laugh or something, and then right out of your mind.
Yeah, but I feel like there's also things like, for example, positive affirmations. For example, you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, "I am handsome. I am worthy. I am loved." Like, you remind yourself, even if you do it daily on a day by day basis.
So I think that's just different from person to person. Because especially with me, like I don't think I could just look in the mirror and talk to myself. To me, that not that it's weird. It's just like I don't know. I don't think I don't know. I don't know. I don't answer that. That's something I would never do. That's just me though.
Oh yeah. Again, it's like when I said about religion. Certain things work for certain people.
Exactly.
So
yeah, that definitely works for some people. I've seen people do it before.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think there's anything I'd ever do to get over bad talk.
Do you think the rise of social media has affected the mentality of younger generations?
No, because I think maybe the people that didn't have social media growing up, the other half of their youth was. So let me rephrase this. I'm gonna lost myself. I think there was a generation of people who grew up without social media, and then eventually, social media came out, and then they were introduced to it, and maybe it changed their point of view on things after that. But I think now the new generations, they're just born with social media. Like throughout, even their parents are on social media, stuff like that. Oh, it's bad voice crack. And stuff like that. So I think the kid that they're being born now, the new generation, social media is just a part of their life, and it's just a norm for them. So they're just kind of like, well, this is how life is. I think it was made a bit of a weird switch, especially, not especially with myself, but I grew up, I didn't have like social media for like the first 14 years of my life-ish. Mm-hmm. So like I knew what life was outside of social media, and maybe it didn't, so yeah, I knew what it was outside of social media, but like in the last 4 years, it's like a bit of a switch. It's like, okay, now I see stuff on social media. These things are happening, blah. So I think like newer generations, social media definitely doesn't control as much, but I think the generations that are switching into social media changes a lot.
Yeah, but my thing with that is that I feel like when it comes to social media, I feel like it can be a benefit because it can promote things like positivity and all that, right?
Definitely can, but there's both sides of
the coin.
Yes.
But I also feel like with social media, it can also promote things like insecurities, probably like not being proud of the way you look.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you said, like we both said, social media is like a two-sided coin almost. It can be a benefit to you and can show you like positive motivational stuff, and it can also show a lot of depressing and unhappy things.
Yeah.
Do you think society should focus and value emotional intelligence over traditional intelligence?
Say it again. I'm like about to fall asleep. You said it again. Sorry.
Trust me.
I'm so tired for no reason.
Probably
Go ahead.
because you only got an hour of
I know.
sleep.
No, it's opposite. I woke up like a couple hours ago.
Right.
I went to bed at like 4, dude. I didn't wake up to like. I mean, I knew I had nothing to do today, so I was kind of like, whatever, I'll do whatever. Sleep. Watched Sopranos last night. Had a great time. Oh, do you watch anime at all?
I mean, not really, but I know my friend and my roommate does. So yeah.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I just started watching this show last night called. You ever heard of Attack on Titan?
Yeah, I heard of Attack on Titan.
So my one friend's watching it right now.
Yeah.
And that show, I was like, I've already seen it, but I was rewatching it. I was like, this show is like awesome. Like some of the story, dude. And like I wasn't like that big an anime until like COVID.
Yeah.
Like, COVID happened, and I watched a show. I don't know if you know it called One Piece.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Dude, so it was probably like 900 episodes when it came out, and it's probably like sitting at like 1100-ish right now. I watched all that through COVID. Dude, that was like the best show I've ever watched. Oh my god, it was awesome. I watched so many shows through COVID, dude. Sopranos, Breaking Bad was COVID, Game of Thrones, One Piece, Naruto. Like all these big shows I watched during COVID. That was like, the best time, dude. But back to my point. So I watched a show called Monster last night.
Yeah.
It's this old anime. I didn't get very far in it. But like it's got this like detective vibe. Dude, like, try it. I didn't get that far, so I don't know what it's going to be about if it's any good. But like, it's got this old detective vibe. It's good so far. I just want to bring that up. So, it continues.
I'll tell my roommate about it. He watches anime.
Most does.
Anyway, so back to the question at hand. Should society place more value in emotional intelligence over traditional intelligence?
Define emotional intelligence.
Like basically, like, again, being able to communicate, being mature enough to say how you feel.
You think people should be taught that?
Yeah, because I feel like there are...
Like every human being, or like some people in specific?
I feel like, for example, little kids, I feel like they should be taught... Like, I feel like it's also important to teach traditional intelligence, but...
But do you think you can actually teach intelligence?
I would say so. Because the thing is like, define intelligence. Because you can be intelligent in one field, but not the other. So...
But I think that, like, there can be a kid who had nothing growing up.
Yeah.
Got put into school, tried really, really hard.
Yeah.
Got his GED in high school.
Yeah.
Finished as like a 4.0 student.
Yeah.
Because he studied his butt off.
Yeah.
Got into a good college. But there could also be other kids that tried, like, barely put any effort in.
Yeah.
Had the same grades.
Yeah.
Let's say he was like salutatorian or something like that.
Yeah.
And he did nothing. No work. And he didn't really teach himself anything. Like I said, like let's say he had like a photographic memory.
Yeah.
And everything he looked at during class, he just obtained or retained. So he knew everything. Like that's the kind of intelligence you can't teach, I think.
Okay.
Well, obviously not. You can't teach that.
True, but the problem, like, and this is where I kind of question you a little bit, because the thing is, for example, what if that kid who is so gifted and talented and everything else, what if he's emotionally stunted? What if he's not able to really communicate that with people, saying like, hey, I'm not really doing so hot, I'm not okay. Like, he's struggling because he was never taught.
And that's the bad thing about mental health. Like sometimes people can't get it out.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like it's up to you if you want to get it out. Because like there are people in this world that maybe they'll want to hear, maybe they don't want to hear, but it's their job to hear.
Yeah.
So obviously there's people you can talk to about it, but it's up to you. Because like there's some, like I said before, like there's some people that like are struggling with something and you would never know because they just put on this like double outfit and then you just like this total change. You just wouldn't know that there's anything wrong with them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really blame that person for not knowing there's something wrong with you. But it's up to you if you want to get it out there.
Oh yeah.
Like that kid you were talking about, like that example of that kid like just keep everything down and not emotionally good place. I'm sorry, like it's up to that kid to make the change.
Oh,
if you want to go talk to people, you can go do it. But you can't expect people to just come up to you and talk to you.
Oh yeah, no.
Especially they know nothing's going wrong.
Oh yeah. Like I'm just saying, like, should we value teaching people or kids perhaps like the importance of emotional intelligence, like willing to communicate, willing to speak about your emotions?
Yeah, I think it's a good trait being able to communicate with.
Oh no,
you need to be able to communicate, but I don't think maybe if you're at a really young age, they can be taught to you like soon in your early development stages, so it's normal to you. Like some kids, even you tell them like you got to communicate, you got to do this, blah, blah. They'll just never change. Because maybe they're too embarrassed to talk about it. Maybe they don't feel comfortable talking about it. Like, there's some things in the back of people's minds that you just wouldn't know because you grew up with a person or you weren't that person.
Oh, yeah. Like,
so I think it's communications, like, definitely everyone just needs to strive to be able to communicate. But if you can't, it's on you for not being able to.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to, like, a confidence thing, the difficulty of what's actually going on. It's just a bunch of different things that could definitely shape a person like that.
Oh, yeah. Like, when I was younger, like, even though my family valued me being smart, they loved the fact that I was smart and everything else. It was, like, my dad who was like, oh, you gotta be tough, son. Men can't cry. As much as I love my dad, I feel as if with that kind of did a little bit of emotional damage when you think about it. Because it's like, here I am. This is what I'm a man. I don't cry. I'm a big boy. When in reality, it's okay to cry. I mean, there's a time and a place and like a reason for you to cry.
Yeah, I don't think you should just go out and just cry publicly.
No.
You wanted to just like, I don't know. There's definitely some people that go out and cry publicly because they want attention. But like, yeah, I don't, like even me, like, I've become a more emotional person, I think. Like, I don't think I've ever like really, I don't cry that much.
Yeah, no.
Other people got different stuff in their life going on.
Right.
More difficult.
All right. My last question for this section is, can mental health challenges sometimes become a source of strength?
This is totally opinionated too. I don't think so. I think sometimes things are so bad and you eventually get over them. But like, I don't think you can use them as a strength. I think sometimes maybe people like took a while to get over something, and then people start bringing it back up again, and it just kills their vibe over and over and over again. Like there's sometimes the things that just overpower you, and like there's not much you can do about it. There's some things that like face that are less of a challenge. Maybe you get over those, and you can use those building stones to better yourself. But I think like big things in your life that happen that just kill your mental health, like. And you get over it, and then eventually, like, if that gets brought up again, it could just, like, bring you back down.
Like, in a way, a trigger almost.
Yeah.
All right. That's actually a fair argument, because I was about to say, there are cases where people have, like, in my case, I've used my mental health struggles to get to where I am now. But, yeah, you do make a fair argument. I gotta give you that. Now, this is the final segment of the podcast, so don't worry, Drew. We're almost at the home stretch.
Oh yeah, I've had a good time before. I'm talking.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're a good host, Juju.
Why, thank you, man. I feel honored to hear that. Okay, my first question is this: What is the hardest hitting lesson you have ever had to learn, and how did it come about?
Hardest lesson I had to learn. I said it before. It's just you in this world. Like it's literally you. You can't. I mean, you can rely on people, but you can't rely on them to do the things you want them to do. Like, at the end of the day, it comes down to you. It's up to you to pick a good wife and someone who's hopefully going to be with you forever. It's up to you to make good friends, but only you can really rely on and know about yourself to do the big things in life that need to be done. The thing that taught me that, I don't know, I just going through life, last 18 years. There's just little things that happen where it's like, even like with some of my close friends, I'm like, can you maybe do this favor for me or blah, blah, blah. Or like, I need you to do this for me, and they're like, I can't swing and I can't do it. And you're like, wow. Or like, you get really need to talk to someone about something big and important that happened in your life. And they're like, maybe they don't want to listen, or they don't give you, like, you can tell they don't really care. You're like, well, it's only, and you realize it's only really me.
Yeah.
Like, it's only me fighting. I don't know.
But, like,
because no one cares as much about you as you do about yourself.
Yeah. Like, in a way, you're the lone wolf. You were born in this world alone, and you'll die in this world alone.
Well, I don't know. I don't explain like that.
Yeah.
That makes it sound harsh. Like, I think if you have a wife...
Right.
If you have a wife...
Right, it does.
Let's say even if you have a wife, and let's say you guys are... Whatever, you're both 80-ish, and then let's say your wife dies first. Even if you finish that life and die, like, 10 years after...
Yeah.
I don't think you died alone. I think you died... Obviously, you didn't die with your wife. But you led this long, long life. You had a marriage for however many years it was. And then she died. But, like, that's not dying alone to me. Like, you had a successful, fulfilling life that you enjoyed. It's unfortunate your wife passed, but now you can go join her. I wouldn't call it dying alone.
Yeah. Do you believe pain or failure is needed for growth?
100%. 100%. If you don't realize the mistakes you made in your life and you don't, like, progress in them and like build on top of them, like you're not gonna get anywhere. Like there's things that happen like where it's like you thought you were in such a good place and something just random happens, something so negative, and you're like, wow, now I gotta rethink. Because like even with just things in life, dude, that just happen, and I just that's my answer.
If you could speak to your younger self, what motivational advice would you give them?
So I don't know about motivational.
Yeah.
Advice wise, I would tell myself I would get more involved in wrestling. I wrestled all throughout middle school, or not all throughout middle school. I wrestled like 4 years in middle school or 3 years in middle school.
Yeah.
4 years in high school, and that's one thing I really love to do. Because like especially like now, I think that's even if I did it now, it's such a good place for your mental health too. Because like once you find something you love and like can do, like your mind just goes to a different place, a more positive place. With wrestling, you just like get in this state of mind where like literally it's just on. Like you're just going through the moves and stuff like this, and you're having a good time, and you're just flowing, and like you're not really thinking, you're just doing. So once you stop thinking, and you just do it. It's like it makes you feel good.
Like throughout this entire recording, there were instances where you kept talking about wrestling, and it brings up an interesting question that I have. Like, did wrestling help you like relieve frustration, stress, anger?
No, because when I wrestled, back to my advice, I would just tell myself to wrestle from a really young age, all the way up until high school. And I wish I even did it now, but I had a little accident on my leg. My burns. I can't really wrestle right now. But yeah, and also my senior year, my junior year, I got hurt. Like junior year, the scar in wrestling, and then broke my elbow in wrestling too. And the senior year, I had COVID and then mono. So I had like really bad 2 last years. I wish I could have wrestled more. That's whatever. And what was your question? Wrestling? Back to wrestling?
Like I was just asking, like, when you used to wrestle, did like
stress,
relieve stress, frustration?
So I don't think my life was so easy, dude, before, like, and it's still easy. Like, I don't have that many challenges and struggles in my life, but like, I think I faced my first couple challenges during the summer, I'd say, ish, around there. So I was in a really good mental health spot, a really good, like, I wasn't stressed out at all. I mean, like, obviously everyone has to deal with schoolwork, but everyone has to do it. Like, sometimes it can be stressful because, like, you're overwhelmed, there's so much to do and stuff like that. But like, at the end of the day, it's not, compared to, like, what could actually be happening, it's not that bad. I don't think I ever used it as a place to get, like, anger or stress out. I just think I liked it because it was something to do and occupy my mind, and it was good especially it was good for your, like, body. Like, wrestling is, like, first of all, those practices we went through were hell. Like, awful, dude. Like, oh, so bad. And besides that, it's just, like, you gotta be around people you like, and act, like, it's a good environment there, so I think it's, like, perfect place for you to do. Like, when I have kids, like, they're gonna wrestle. I'm not gonna force them, but, like, I'm gonna force them that first year to go do it. If they don't like it from there, then obviously don't do it.
Wait, are you gonna have them watch like UFC, WWE?
So I was never really into WWE. I've never watched WWE.
Oh, okay.
And I only got into UFC like 2 years ago, maybe-ish, a little less than that. But like ever since watching that, I just fall in love with the sport. And especially like, I actually did, like, the problem with UFC is everyone loves like the striking and the punches and the kicks.
Yeah.
But no one really wants to stay around for the wrestling. Like, because I wrestled, I could appreciate the wrestling. So that's why some people can't get into UFC, because they like the kickboxing aspect of it. They're just like, once they get to the ground, they're like, oh, this is boring. They're just holding him here. And in my mind, like, that's my favorite part. And like obviously the striking is fun to watch, but like that on the ground is the best part to watch because like I've actually been there, and obviously not that at the level they're at, but I mean I know they're doing to an extent. Yeah. So that makes it fun to me. Like my kids will watch it, but they don't like it. They don't have to watch it. Oh yeah. I'll introduce them to things, and if they don't like them, don't.
Yeah, like you want to at least experiment certain things. Yeah, okay.
I want to like these things I like, so like maybe you'll like them. Like I'm trying to like introduce you to my life. If you like these things, good, we can do them together. But if you don't, I'm not gonna like
force them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna force it like it.
Yeah. What are some words of wisdom you would give to someone who's about to enter college, other than losing weight?
Gotcha. And even the losing weight thing, I don't think it's like losing weight. It's just like staying in good shape. Yeah. Because like especially like it just makes you feel better overall. But other advice besides losing weight, Under college. Ooh. Make sure it's a college you actually want to go to. Like, it's hard to do that before because I thought moms were like this perfect school, perfect campus, perfect area, like perfect everything. Like, especially when I've gotten here, I've kind of like realized like I still love it, but it's not everything I thought it was gonna be. So like I said before, like the weekends here sometimes are like dull. I'm like, oh, there's nothing to do. Or like this area, especially when I started getting to hiking, I was like, there's nowhere to hike around here. I love the people around here. Classes are fun. They're really good. Man, like hour and a half every day is not that bad, especially when I'm doing 2 a day. It's not that bad. But yeah, I think like make sure you really like this place before you go here, because looking back on it, I wish I had explored more. And I think just make sure you like it. I wish I did like looked at schools in like the New England area. That's an awesome place. Awesome place to go to school. I think that's such a different environment. And I wish I did like a reach school, like maybe like an Ohio State or something like that. Just see like what my chances would have been in to get into this better school. I got a friend who goes to Utah State, loves it there, and that's especially if I like hiking that much. And this person, whoever I'm giving motivation to, you like hiking, like maybe go do that. Maybe go spend 4 years. Especially if you know you're going back to Jersey, spend 4 years in a different part of the country. See how you like it. It's a new experience, and I don't think it's a bad one at all. Especially if you love nature.
What do you think the meaning of life is?
It's a hard one, man. That's a hard question. Meaning of life? It's whatever you want it to be. It's literally up to you. I said before, like at the end of the day, it's just yourself. It's what you want to do. There should be no norms you need to follow in order to have a good life. Like, if your idea of happy is be by yourself, then do that. And then maybe that's the meaning of life for you. You're alone and you liked it. Like you like being by yourself. But if you want to have a wife and kids and whatever, go do that. Like it's whatever makes you happy. At the end of the day, like when you're in your deathbed and laying down, you can look back at your life and be like, like, I lived a really good life. To me, like that's the meaning of life, just being happy.
Like basically almost like, yeah, being happy and also like what you make of it.
Yeah, like do what you want to do to make you happy.
All right.
That's such a compact question, though. Like that can go so different ways.
Yeah, that's why I wrote it in here.
Yeah, you go. I'll trip some people up. You should start with that question next time.
Ooh. All right. I'll make sure of that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. If you start with that, people will be like, "Well, that's a tough question."
Can motivation coexist with uncertainty or fear?
What do you think about it? Every time I don't understand the question, I'm just asking what you think about it. I need to get like a better grasp because motivation.
Sure. All right. Basically, I feel like motivation can coexist with uncertainty or fear because the thing is, in my eyes, you can use that fear and uncertainty to be your motivation. Like, for example, today, as of this recording, I don't know what's going to happen on Friday. I don't. Is that scary? Yes, it's scary.
But I don't think you should go into like looking at tomorrow like tomorrow's going to be scary.
Exactly.
Just because you don't know what's going to happen doesn't mean it's automatically in your mind you should think it's scary.
Exactly.
Is that the gist of the question?
Pretty much. Like, can you have motivation and can it coincide with you having uncertainty about something, having doubt, fear?
Yeah, I mean, like, you definitely should not be scared of what's coming tomorrow.
Oh,
just because it's uncertain and you don't know what's going to be doesn't mean it's necessarily scary. It could be the best day of your life, or it could be the worst. Like, that's also the awesome thing about life. Like, you just don't know. It keeps everything a mystery. Because if you know what your life looked like in the next 40 years, you're like, why am I going to live this? Especially if it's going to be bad, dude. Like, why am I going to live this? People live because it's uncertain to see what's going to happen. Like, you don't know. You can't control most things in life. Some positive things are going to happen to you. Some negative things are going to happen to you. You got to accept it, and you don't want to just be spoiled what happens in life.
That's why I really love this movie quote. And if you know this movie, you have my respect. Life is like a box of chocolate.
Forrest Gump, baby.
There you go.
You never know what you're going to get, dude.
Yes.
That's right. Yeah, it's a great quote. Like, you actually don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly.
It's a mystery. Life's a mystery.
Let's see. Do you think true motivation comes from achieving your goals? Pursuing your goals?
Pursuing.
Really?
I think you need motivation to pursue a goal. It's the same thing like going to the gym. Like, you need motivation to go to the gym. Like, some people don't have it. Like, to be honest, I don't have any motivation to go to the gym. It's just sometimes I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, you had a lot of Taco Bell last night, or you had a big meal from the DH and you need to go to the gym. But like at the same time, it shouldn't be like a. It shouldn't be Yeah, you definitely need motivation to do things in life. I think you need motivation to get to a point.
Yeah.
Once you're there, I don't think there's any need for motivation once you're there, because you already achieved your goals.
Nice. Like I would believe pursuing your goals is also true motivation, because like again, you're hungry for it. You want to achieve those goals. But it's like when you do achieve those goals, what else is there? Unless if you make yourself a new goal.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think is the connection between motivation and living a meaningful life?
Just one more time.
Sure. What do you think is the connection between motivation and living a meaningful life?
Well, I think it all depends on whether or not you have a plan set out for you. Like, if you have a plan of what a meaningful life looks for you, then you could use motivation to get that could be your motivation to get to the point you want to get to. So you can always, like, if you have a plan, then obviously, yes, motivation is the best thing you can do or use to get to your goal. But if you don't have a certain plan set out and you're just like, I want to see where life goes, I don't think you really need motivation in your life then. Obviously, if you have a good, like, mental state and you're a very positive person and you don't have goals set in front of you, I don't think you need any sort of motivation. Like, you can just go out and do it whatever you want. If it makes you happy, then pursue it even more. But you shouldn't, like, if you don't have a plan, you don't need motivation.
All right, that's actually an interesting take. What do you believe is the true source of motivation? Do you think it's desire for something? Do you think it's the fear of something? Or do you think it's something else?
I think it's definitely the desire for something.
Really?
If you set up goals for yourself, then you're going to need motivation to reach those goals.
If someone were to look back on your life years from now,
Gotcha.
What do you hope they'll say was the most inspiring thing about you and the way you lived?
I don't know yet. That's an answer. That's an answer. Ask me that question when I'm on my deathbed. Like that, I don't have a good answer. I don't think I've done anything in my life right now that's like needs or like requires someone to look back at and be like, wow, that was amazing. Nothing in my life like that has happened so far yet. I think the idea of just living and being alive definitely deserves, like, that's an awesome thing, obviously. And that's worthy of just like people knowing or whatever. But I don't think I've done anything in my life that massive or that like impactful where people like look back on my life. Maybe by the time I'm however old I am when I'm on my deathbed, then you ask me that question, then I'll have a good answer for you. But as of right now, I don't.
All right, I'll make sure I bring you back before you die.
Perfect.
And the very final question. If you can leave with saying one last piece of advice to someone who may need to hear it, what would it be?
Live your life to your own standards, dude. I think that's the end of it. Like said 1,000 times during this episode, do what you want to do that make you happy. Not that I lived in like this world of being controlled, like a year ago, wherever it was. But it was like now I'm alone. I have the ability to just go do what I want to do. Don't let people like change what you want to do. But don't let certain people tell you what you need to do. Do what you want to do. Like, live your life by your own standards. Create these own standards and use these standards to build a positive life in the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, my friend Andrew Grant, thank you so much for coming to the podcast. I'm so happy. Ladies and gentlemen, my good friend Andrew, that is it for this episode. And make sure you keep the candle burning.
Thank you for listening to Enlightenment with Julian Nicholas. We hope today's episode has sparked new insights and empowered you on your path to personal growth. For more inspiration and wisdom, be sure to subscribe and follow. Connect with Julian on Instagram at enlightenment_pod. And if you found value in the show, please tell someone else. Join Julian next time as he continues his journey towards enlightenment. Until then, remember to embrace your journey and live your best life.